Alright, so this is the Shenzhen video. Yep, this is what it looks like on a smoggy day in Shenzhen. I'm constantly doing construction day and night. How headache inducing. Hey, look at that thick smog. You can't even see IKEA in the distance anymore. So the story starts in Vietnam, more specifically, Saigon. In Saigon, I went to go get my visa at the Chinese embassy. That wasn't too hard except for the long lines. You know, you just have to talk to the right people so you can cut through the BS line, because there's two lines. There's one on the front and there's one on the back. If you're in the back, you're never going to get into the front, most likely, unless you bribe somebody. And then if you get to the front line, too late, then the doors will close because they have a close-off time, and then you won't get in, and you've wasted your time. But once you get in, everything's smooth sailing. So I got my China visa in Saigon, 10-year visa for US citizens, and then I headed into China. Now the flights from Saigon to Shenzhen were too overpriced, I felt like. So I flew straight to Hong Kong first. So flying to Hong Kong is always nice because Hong Kong is actually a civilized city. Everything's nice, you know. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. It's, you know, slightly more expensive than, say, Shenzhen at times. And there's times where Shenzhen is more expensive than Hong Kong, or it's similar price, which I'll get to later. But yeah, I mean, Hong Kong is a beautiful city. You know, it's got a lot of history. It's rich in history, rich in culture, and the skyline is very beautiful. And you know, air pollution is what it is. I mean, it is close to Shenzhen. You know, it can't help that really bad air pollution. But anyway, I took a flight to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong, I took the high-speed train into Shenzhen, more specifically Shenzhen North Station. And as soon as I got off, I got hit with cigarette smoke at the platform. It's just like some guy squatting on the floor smoking cigarettes, and for some reason the whole platform smelled like cigarettes. Like as far as you can go, like the whole thing. I think the ventilation is really poor. Plus there's signs that says no smoking, but you know, some people just don't care. You know, just like the Joker. Just like the Joker. That's funny. A bunch of clowns. A bunch of freaking clowns, man. You know, they see the signs, but they don't care because they're clowns. Yep. Okay, so the first place I stayed in was an Airbnb. Airbnb was really hard to find. Google Maps doesn't work in China. That's nice. Well, it does kind of work, but the maps are outdated. So I had to load this other map app. Try saying that 3 times fast. Called AMAP. Yeah, it should be called AMAPS, but they just call it AMAP. The maps are really good on it because it's all up to date for China. Yeah, so that first apartment was it's okay. I mean, air quality is not too good in it. You know, there's like an ashtray inside, which I put outside. But, you know, air quality wasn't too good in it. And so earlier I had already booked appointment to go see an apartment the next morning. So that's what I did. I went to go see an apartment. It was a nice apartment. Everything was like brand new. You know, I asked the girl who showed me apartment, you know, it's like, you know, does anyone smoke here? You know, and she said, oh, no one smokes here. It's non-smoking. And so, you know, I paid for, I think it was like 2 or 3 months in advance. And then, I went out for the day to go buy some stuff for the place because it didn't come with a lot of things I needed. So I come back late that night, and then the whole room was filled with smoke. And yeah, this is where the fun starts. Yeah, so I was like, what the hell is this? You know, it's like, why is there smoke here? The girl says no smoking. And later I found out that, like, you know, clowns live everywhere. You know, jokers live everywhere. People like to smoke in their apartments in China, period. Which is really unhealthy. I don't know how anyone can like smoke and live in in the same apartment. That's just not good for the health at all. So I went downstairs, and it was late at night, but they had like this lounge area. I saw some foreigners who lived there, so I talked to them, and they also said that they had the same issues. And like one guy's like, oh, like he bought like an air filter with a fan, and that's helping big time. But I mean, that's just a patch. It's like I want to live somewhere that's smoke free. I don't want to deal with this crap. So the next morning, I talked to the management, and then returned the apartment, and then had to wait to get my refund. Not to get my originally I paid the deposit and the rent in cash, and then they get refund. They're like, oh, you need a bank account so we can send it back to you. I'm like, I don't have a Chinese bank account, and they're like, oh, this is the only way we can do it. So what I did is I went to 3 different banks, and then they all said the same thing. They said, oh, like, you need either a working permit or to be enrolled full-time in a school and have this identification so that you can open an account. Otherwise, you can't open an account, which is really frustrating. Because, like, I mean, it's just I'm bringing in money. I'm not planning to take it out. Like, what gives, I was going to curse. I was going to say, what the F? What gives? So what happened next? Oh, yeah, and each bank, I had them call the landlord lady, management lady at the apartment thing, telling them exactly the same thing. Oh, I can't open it because of the reasons, And then after the third one, then the lady said, she broke down. She said, okay, I can give you cash, but you have to wait for the money to clear our banks first. And so they said it was going to take like 1 week to clear, which is a long time, but whatever. And then, and then I switched apartment. I switched to like some expensive Airbnb, but in a high rise, in a different area of town of Shenzhen. And so it was okay, not too bad. At least there was no smoke. But that smoking thing really killed everything. And then things in Shenzhen are just expensive. Like some places really expensive. I don't understand it. Like I don't feel like, it's not the same caliber as Hong Kong. So why is the price is so high? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like a quality of life, and then it's expensive also. So it's like, why would I want to live in a place like that? It's just a double negative. Double negative doesn't make a positive in this case. Oh my God. So and then my dad came, but not to Shenzhen. He went to his village in Fuzhou. So what I did is I took a train to Fuzhou to go see him, and I told him what happened, and then he wasn't too happy. But I took care of it, so that's what matters. That's the important part. And then I spent my time there, and that part of the trip was great, yeah. But Shenzhen, and then when I took the high-speed train to Fuzhou and came back, so there's absolutely no smoking high-speed rail train, which is excellent. But people still smoke on the platform. So like every time the train stops at the station, people will like walk outside the door and smoke like right in front of the door. So then you can smell like a little whiff of like cigarettes. But inside there's like no smoking tolerated. The staff on board like are really strict about that. Which is great. Like, they have other kinds of trains where like people just like they have like smoking cars and stuff. But the high-speed train is actually like more westernized, in those aspects, which is nice. What else? Without a bank account, you can't do a lot of things. Like a lot of places don't accept cash, and like the reason why is because they don't have change. So if you pay with cash, they can't give you change back. A lot of places you're gonna use your phone app to pay for stuff. Everything's tied to these like phone apps to pay for stuff. But the only way to use these payment apps is if you have a bank account. It has to be a Chinese bank account. Otherwise, it won't work. So there's the catch-22, right? It's like, oh yeah, if you're an expat and you don't work in China or study in China and you can't open a bank account, then you can't use these payment apps. Then you're kind of stuck in places like Shenzhen. I mean, other cities doesn't matter. Like rural places or like places like Fuzhou. They don't really deal too much with QR codes and payment apps. They do have it, but there it's like more traditional. Like you can pay with straight cash, just like in Taiwan. But yeah, these payment apps are so annoying. And then these Chinese websites are really annoying too. You log in on the desktop and then it's like, oh, you gotta pick up your phone, scan the code, and then verify your phone number. You know, or just like scan a QR code on your phone just to log into the desktop site, which is like retarded. I just entered like my login information on desktop. I should be able to log in. I don't want to deal with all this crap. And then the Great Firewall of China is another issue. Can you access any sites like Google or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything that, you know, is remotely useful? They have a search engine called Baidu, which is a piece of crap. Everything's filtered and all the results are irrelevant. Can't find anything. And then Microsoft Bing search engine actually works, but it's Bing, so, you know, nobody uses that. And then for my work, I need, you know, all the Google apps, you know, like Docs, Sheets, sometimes Slides, but not too much. And then Google Drive and Gmail, because I have like 3-4 different Gmail accounts spread across different work clients. So none of that works. And yeah, VPN is not so reliable. What they do is like, you can have a perfectly working VPN and then they block the servers that you use. And you need to contact your VPN provider and then get new servers to log into. They haven't been blocked yet. Sometimes it's super fast and sometimes it's super slow. And I think maybe the slowness might be attributed to like a lot of sites use Google Analytics. And if the Google Analytics can't load, it'll stop the site from loading for like maybe a good 30 seconds to 1 minute. So everything's super slow, and then there's always issues with regions. Yeah, so it's really hard to find an apartment with no cigarette smoke, and it's really hard to get around without being able to use these payment apps. I mean, you can always have a friend send you money through WeChat, and that's how you can get around it. But aside from that, you know, it's really tough. And then, yeah, QR codes. Like they have city bikes everywhere you can rent, which is convenient, but you need payment app to be able to use it. And then to verify when you make an account to use one of the bike apps, you have to verify your photo or your passport. You have to hold it like this, like an idiot, like that. And then if you don't hold it correctly, they like say, oh, like, you know, we rejected you and you need to retake it, which is so stupid. I feel like they do it out of spite. And then, yeah, I mean, renting a bike makes life more convenient because walking is a pain. And then if you take taxis, I mean, they have the electric taxis, which is like blue colored in Shenzhen. They're nice because there's no smoking inside. But if you take really short trips, then the drivers start to like nag you or like complain to you, you know, like why you take such a short trip. And to that, you know, you just tell them, shut up. Yeah. You know, I'm sure they're like that. I mean, the taxi drivers there are just rude, man. I think maybe just because they're used to dealing with rude people. Oh, a lot of people don't speak English, which is nice. Not. But I mean, I studied Chinese for more than a year, so I was okay. The train system there is super slow. The city sucks. There's a lot of air pollution some days. Everything's electric, like the buses and taxis. And I don't think I saw like one motorbike. I just see like a lot of EV bikes. Postal system there is really reliable. The food is garbage. It's too oily. Causes a lot of intestinal tract issues with me. A lot of products are really expensive. The fruits in Shenzhen just like have bad taste. At least the ones that I got. And they're really expensive. Like strawberries, mangoes, oranges, really super expensive for some reason. Maybe I was just buying the wrong place. But yeah, my Shenzhen trip was just I didn't enjoy it. Wasted too much money on accommodations, like hopping from place to place because I couldn't find a place that didn't have cigarette smoke smell in it. The whole renting thing was a mess. So yeah, it's not an easy place to live for an expat. Not a good place to expat to. So yeah, that's my China video. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Next video is gonna be Fuzhou, which was a little bit better experience. But yeah, if you have a chance to go to Shenzhen, don't bother. Unless you like smoking cigarettes, you know, and you like sleeping in a room and have cigarette smoke coming in from the bathroom vents, then by all means, you know, it's a smoker's paradise. But aside from that, No. So until next time, see yo. Alright, this is the AC. And from the railing, look at that. What the? Oh, it's dusty. Why do people never clean these filters? Aside from this dirty filter, the view is to die for. Literally, if you fall off this window, you will die. From the 37th floor. And over there in the distance, let me see, is IKEA. Kind of hard to see unless I zoom in. IKEA, go figure, everywhere you go in the world, there it is.